Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here on the channel Charles Morris. Russia has announced, or has bombed the bridge connecting to Crimea and Russia, and Russia has also bombed key cities as well, or I should say, parts of Ukraine. It appears that these attacks were of nuclear ballistic missiles. Now, to my surprise, it wouldn't be surprising that Vladimir Putin has given a nuclear threatening message to Joe Biden and pretty much all of the world, and this is apparently it's not really a joke. Vladimir Putin seriously is considering using nuclear weapons to help him win this war. Vladimir Putin has accused of Ukraine as being terrorists. Now, as for the rest of the world, he would be accusing, say for example, the West as, like, our NATO allies of the U.S., he would consider those countries as terrorist countries. And he would also pretty much consider the United States to be a terrorist country. Which, I mentioned this before. We don't want to go and start blowing up other people or blowing up other countries just because we feel like it. I mean, we don't even want to, we're not gonna go out there and start wars and then getting other countries mad at us because we have the strongest military in the world here in the United States, and we're not going to take that power and show the whole entire world that we're the strongest country out of the whole entire world. Look at us. That's not what the country of the United States is about. It's about, protecting it's about protection, and here in the United States, we like to protect our allies under threatening conditions, whether it's from Russia, whether it's from Iran, or whether it's from even if it's from countries that the United States would consider to be like terrible countries. The group that was behind 9/11, well, obviously, they hated America. That's why why these planes crashed into the World Trade Center on September 11, 2001. Again, that was September 2001. And what happened was these two planes crashed into the World Trade Center, caused dozens of people to die because there was so much gas and all of that. You expect a lot of smoke coming from those two towers. And it was, those towers were not able to withstand that long, and they collapsed within a matter of time. And it was a tragic moment in U.S. history. Now that the bridge in Crimea, or connecting Crimea and Russia, has been bombed, now Vladimir Putin is blaming Ukraine for the attack, when really the attack came from Russia themselves. Yeah. There's a lot of failures from the Russian army to conquer at least all of Ukraine. Well, now this is real. Vladimir Putin is considering to try to blow up Ukraine with nuclear weapons. And this is where Vladimir Putin and his Russian army have become real big terrorists. Now, you heard me mention this before. I said, you've heard me say before, Russian terrorist army, or Russia terrorist, or Russia military terrorist. Stuff like that. And I knew right while this attack on Ukraine was going on, that while this attack was going on, I knew that Vladimir Putin was considered a war criminal, and I knew that the Russian army was committing terrorist acts. And yeah, the real terrorist here is not Ukraine. The real terrorist is Vladimir Putin and his Russian army. So I want to get that clear. So Vladimir Putin's out of his mind when he says that the Ukrainians are terrorists and blames the attack on the bridge on he blamed the attack on the bridge connecting to Crimea and Russia on Ukraine, and he has called the Ukrainians terrorists, when really him, I mean Vladimir Putin and his army, they are the real terrorists here. And there is possibly a nuclear threat that's going to be on the way. It'll probably blow up Europe and the rest of the West. And if Vladimir Putin was very smart, he would want to try to nuke the United States, because right now, I think, this is my opinion, the United States is trying to get in Vladimir Putin's way to accomplish what he wants to achieve and his goal. So, yeah, that's that. Vladimir Putin and his Russian army are absolute terrorists. Now, maybe not the newly trained, fresh military faces that haven't been trained for, as in the mobilization that Vladimir Putin has tried, and drafting his people to fight in the Russian military to try to take back Ukraine. It hasn't been working so good for him. So right now, what this man wants to do is he wants to go I would think he would want to go nuclear and try to wipe out Ukraine with nuclear weapons. And this is what is making the nuclear threats higher than they actually have been. Vladimir Putin has threatened to use nuclear weapons, and it could come to the West, or even the United States, and Vladimir Putin could blow us up. Or it could be Kim Jong-un in North Korea. And maybe even China. But news is going to tell us what the next moves are going to be for either Vladimir Putin, Kim Jong-un, or President Xi. And, yeah. But I'm pretty sure that these nuclear threats are going to get even worse than they actually have been right now. And so far, we're at the worst part of this nuclear threatening message from Vladimir Putin than we actually have been before he gave the nuclear threat speech. We are actually, the whole entire world would be pretty worried about Vladimir Putin at a very high level. Everybody be worried about Vladimir Putin using nuclear weapons. And his next targets right now, I think he wants to try to take back Ukraine. He's got this idea that Ukraine was created for Russia, which isn't really true. Ukraine is an independent country or state. And Russia doesn't have the right to take that land back. And now, since Vladimir Putin has failed on the battleground of Ukraine with his Russian army, now he would consider and he would by all means try to use nuclear weapons against Ukraine to try to get an upper hand from the Ukrainian army, and this would pretty much be his goal, and trying to wipe out all of Ukraine so he can take Ukraine back for himself and Russia. And the Russians hate what Vladimir Putin's doing, and they're not allowed to protest in Russia, but once Ukraine is destroyed by Vladimir Putin, it's going to be real ugly for him. Let's hope it doesn't even come to that. And people would be pretty frightened when Vladimir Putin's threat on using nuclear weapons becomes reality. Either it will be from Vladimir Putin, Kim Jong-un, or President Xi. And yeah, it's a pretty big thing to worry about right now. So yeah, we could end up waking up the next day and actually hear news about a further nuclear threat that would be coming to one of our countries, either United States, Europe, or Australia, you name it. And when we hear news about Russia, China, or North Korea using nuclear weapons and trying to use ballistic missiles to strike at one of us, that's where it's going to be a real big panic for a lot of people, and news will tell us. This is Charles Morris. Have a good day. If you like what it says here, please comment, like, and subscribe to the channel Charles Morris. And, you know, the nuclear threat could get even worse than they already have been right now. And so far, Vladimir Putin is probably one of the top war criminals that I would definitely think he would want to try to strike at us with nuclear weapons. When I say us, I mean the United States or NATO allies. And this is where the United States and NATO want to do everything to wipe out the Russian army. And if this were ever to happen, Russia's own people would have to either call Vladimir Putin to resign, and if he doesn't want to resign, then the man would have to end up being assassinated. Vladimir Putin would need to go under an assassination trial, because this has gone on far enough, and it will go much farther the more Vladimir Putin is left alive and being a world security threat. This is Charles Morris. Have a good day. I will see you all in my next video.